made your party the other day just in time.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
We'll go ahead and call the regular council meeting to order. Anna Medina, could you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call?
Becknick?
Here.
McKinney? Not here. Shaver?
Here.
Saracey?
Here.
Bertone?
Here.
Heights?
Here.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to excuse Mr. McKinney?
So moved. Second.
Bertone?
Aye.
Saracey?
Aye.
Becknick?
Aye.
McKinney? Shaver?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
It's going to trip me up all night, I'm just saying.
Can I have a motion to approve the regular council minutes for July 18th and the special council minutes July 25th?
So moved.
Second.
Saracey?
Aye.
Becknick?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Abstain.
I need a motion to move the agenda just a little bit. Resolution number 2023-52 and resolution 2023-53 will move up into Mr. Jim Lyons' line here. And I'm going to ask Jim to talk about 2023-52, which is the memorandum of understanding for the school resource officer. Mr. Lyons?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Mayor. After the chief had worked diligently and had come up with an agreement, and we styled that document as an agreement between the Village of Fairport Harbor and the village school system, for a school resource officer. And after council passed it at the last meeting, it went to the schools for signature. They sent it to their attorney, who took a look at it and indicated that they would like to update that agreement and include the language by calling it a memorandum of understanding rather than just an agreement. So it's now called a memorandum of understanding and agreement that has the same substantive terms as what council passed before, but the attorney for the school system, who was a real good person to deal with, it wasn't any problem, preferred to have that memorandum of understanding language in it, because that language is used in the statute about school resource officers. We both agreed that a memorandum of understanding was an agreement, and it was just a matter of words, but
Okay.
They wanted it, and there's no reason for us not to do it. The schools, my understanding, at a prior meeting, passed the agreement that we had, so that agreement was in effect up until today, when hopefully we'll pass this, and then this will replace it. But it's still for the 5 years, it's still for the 80%. It still allows the school resource officer during the summer months, to work for the village. And it may have some additional language, that talks about what happens in the school. So the school resource officer will have some studying to do to see what's in that document, because I think this new one is a few pages longer. Okay, but I would recommend that it be passed, and hopefully it can be passed tonight.
Council have any questions?
No risk in there, Mr. Lyons, to us?
No difference than what we had before.
Okay. And the few extra pages are additional responsibilities, in your opinion, of the resource officer, or clarifications of the duties?
I thought it was substantively, procedurally, it was still the same.
Okay.
So,
If you're good with it, I trust you and your judgment, then I'm good.
yeah, I thought, Chief, do you have any problem with it?
I have no problem at all. I'm good with it.
Okay, then I need a motion.
Just one more.
Yes, sir.
Evidently, there's a model agreement called a memorandum of understanding, I think on the Attorney General's website, in a place where you can't find it. And I think they use that model, and they just felt more comfortable because it's kind of a statewide model to have it in that format. But it's substantively, it's the same as what the chief did. Okay. So.
Very good. Then I need a motion to, I guess I'll read it. A resolution authorizing the village administrator to sign the memorandum of understanding and agreement between the council for the village of Fairport Harbor and the Board of Education of the Fairport Harbor Exempted Village School District regarding the school resource officer and declaring an emergency. That's resolution number 2023-52.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Suspend, Bertone,
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Vacknick.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Saracen.
Aye.
Adopt, Bertone,
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Vacknick.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Saracen.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lyons. Mr. Lyons, do you have anything else to report on this evening?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
One question, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Does that supersede now, or do we have to remove the other?
Well, no, I mean, the resolution we passed specifically indicates that this memorandum of understanding replaces the agreement that was passed, so
Very
that's
good.
good enough.
Thank you.
Good, so.
Okay, resolution number 2023-53, a resolution confirming the appointment of Anna C. Medina as a regular police officer for the village of Fairport Harbor, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Suspend, Saracen.
Aye.
Vacknick.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Bertone.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Adopt, Saracen.
Aye.
Vacknick.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Bertone.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Anna? You're good. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Anna Medina,
I, Anna Medina,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Village of Fairport, the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the codified ordinances
the codified ordinances
of the Village of Fairport Harbor,
of the Village of Fairport Harbor,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of police officer
of the office of police officer
for the Village of Fairport Harbor,
for the Village of Fairport Harbor,
Lake County,
Lake County,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my term of office.
during my term of office.
Welcome aboard. Anna. Just work your way around the table. Okay? Wonderful, thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations again. Welcome. Yes. If anybody would like any other pictures up here, you can get them real quick, or... Okay, for those in attendance for that part of the meeting now. Now is the customary time where you can leave and not bother anybody else here. So thank you all for your attendance this evening. I do not have anything from me this evening. To our village administrator, Amy Cossack.
Okay. Fairport Harbor Port Authority. The Village of Fairport Harbor is accepting applications to fill one board position on the Fairport Harbor Port Authority. The applicant selected will fill the remainder of a term that expires on December 31st, 2025. Residents who are interested in this opportunity should submit a letter of interest and resume by August, actually it should be 25th on there, to acossack@fairportharbor.org. The board position is appointed by the Mayor of Fairport Harbor with the approval of Village Council. Water projects, the village is working with CT Consultants in the city of Painesville as we prepare for our flushing program. At this point, we anticipate the flushing program to begin during the last week of August. As I mentioned previously, we will be issuing public notices when we're ready to proceed. Parking lines and crosswalks. Our service department will be repainting parking lines and crosswalks in and around Vine, Newforth, and Plum Streets. We are aware that the construction and school starting, with school starting parking is at a premium, and we'll freshen that up so legal parking areas are clearly identified. So that's coming up. New employee. We're excited to welcome a new employee, Kylie Cross, who has joined our administrative team as our new customer service utilities specialist. In addition to supporting the work of our water department and the administrative offices, Kylie will also be greeting you at our customer service window and answering your calls at Village Hall. Please be sure to introduce yourself to Kylie when you have a chance. Finally, I want to thank everyone who joined us for the golf cart parade and Village Fest. Turned out to be a really fun day until the thunderstorm hit. So thank you, everybody. That's my report for this evening.
Thanks, Amy. Anyone got any questions or comments for Amy this evening? Nope.
Mr. Mayor, can I supplement her report a little?
Yes, you can.
So Amy and I don't know if Chris was there.
That's going to be in Chris's.
Oh, is that in Chris's report? Never mind then.
Thank you, Jim.
Coming up.
Yeah, we got a little something there
Okay.
for us. But I wanted to echo Amy's thanks for everyone that was involved. This year, we added a new wrinkle to the Village Fest with a band on 3rd Street there, right on the hill, and we set up a stage and tents and everything else. And of course, nothing really ever goes to plan, and service did a great job. Police and fire, especially the fire department, helped out with the stage. So Chief, thank your guys for us. It really was a nice day, and it, like you said, it was really great right up until 3 o'clock, and then bam, the weather hit. So thanks, Amy, for all that you do. From our administrator, or not our administrator, from our engineer, Clyde Haddon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Just a few quick updates on our projects. Amy mentioned the flushing program that's associated with the new vault and the Painesville water supply. For the plant demo, the water tower, and the secondary connection to Painesville, those projects, we held pre-construction meetings for those recently, and they're getting started very soon. In fact, tomorrow I think they're going to be doing some exploratory digging on East Street to find a connection for the secondary connection. Chestnut Street improvement project, we bid that out. The contracts are signed, I believe, and we're hoping to have a pre-construction meeting next week on that with a start very soon. The 2023 road program, we're opening bids for that project on this coming Friday at noon. And the downtown streetscape Phase 2 project, we did receive bids on August the 4th. There's a little bid report in your packet regarding the one bidder that we had, which was, excuse me, Perk Company. This, as you recall, was a CDBG project. We had a submitted budget of a total project cost of $300,000. If we accept the bids today from PERC, then our project cost will escalate to $336,000 for the total project cost. So there are some options if we want to accept the bids. We could accept the bids and try to reduce some of the scope of the project, which may be difficult because there's not much there, or we could rebid. So that's my report. Amy, Mayor?
what would be the village's, so I see your worksheet here. If we were to accept the bid where it is, the village would need to be in at 91,000 compared to the 55,000, right?
Correct. $35,000, $36,000 increase in the total project cost.
Is there a risk if we wait until the spring for the rebidding that it would go higher yet? Or do you think we would get a better, more favorable, where more folks might be looking for work? What is your thought process there?
My thoughts are that whenever you only have one bidder that understands that it's one bidder, then that price could be potentially higher than if you had many bidders competing.
I would agree.
My gut feeling is that if we had more bidders, we'd have a better price,
Okay.
which is probably standard for all bidding. But I think we could get lower if we chose to rebid. There is a risk that we don't get lower. There's a risk that something happens in the world and prices go through the roof.
Gotcha.
Do we know why there was only one bid? Any reason other than maybe they're all busy right now, or what's your thought?
We've seen this a lot. We've probably advertised over 200 projects this year, and many of them we have not received any bids because there's so much work on the street. There's a lot of projects going on. Everybody's busy, and it's difficult bidding environment to get bidders. It's happening in the industry now.
What's your assessment of the company who gave us a bid?
They're qualified to do the work.
Is it worth trying to negotiate a lower number and then coming back to us before we rebid?
I don't know if we can do that.
Okay.
I have a question. When you go out for bid, do you provide project dates and timelines? Is that
Correct.
part of the bid?
Yes.
So if we went out to bid again and adjusted to spring, when people may have more room in their schedules, then we can go back to bid now, but then not set the project date until spring.
Correct. That's what I would recommend. I talked to Amy about that.
Yeah,
I
that's option
received many calls from contractors asking if we could move the completion date to the spring because they were swamped right now.
Okay.
Would that potentially mean they would start now and finish in the spring?
I guess they would be able to start whenever we would agree to them starting. They could start now and finish up in the spring, or they could wait until, March and finish.
Wouldn't it be better, Mayor, to wait? And because of the wear and tear you're gonna have over the winter time and everything, I mean, we're not in a rush.
Right.
And it gives us, it's not like we're gonna have everybody in the downtown over the winter time. Of course, the opposite is then in spring, may take up, but I think we could get a better bid later.
I certainly have no problem waiting. We just wanted to make sure that we understood what was here. We only had the one bidder, and we were looking to get council's feedback on it. So it sounds like council would like to go to the springtime and try to rebid this. So then, that's what I would ask that you do. Do we need any formal actions of the body for that?
I think we should make a motion to reject the bid and rebid it, so.
Okay, then I'd ask for a motion to reject the bid from Perk Company for $297,000, $255.
Just the standard language in the bid documents indicates we have the right to reject all bids. And I think that we just need to take some sort of council action to formally
That's fine.
reject it.
Correct. That's
Okay.
my,
So I'll make a motion in accordance with the bid documents that the village does not accept the bid and rejects it.
Second.
Bertrand.
Aye.
Saracen.
Aye.
Becknick.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Heights.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clyde. Anything else for Clyde? Okay. From our fiscal officer, Christine Page.
Good evening, everybody. So for the month of July, your revenue was $356,354.16. Some of that was in advance for real property taxes from the county auditor. Expenditures for the month were $505,260.03. Reconciled balance is $4,025,098.75. Your interest for the month was $16,824.81, with the majority of our investment in Star Ohio. In the package, the last thing attached here is your check register, and then the receipt register is in there prior to that. The mayor asked me to let everybody know how things went with the Budget Commission meeting we went to. Amy and I went to the meeting last Monday. The commissioners asked the prosecutor to look into a resolution that the commissioners had done some years ago about effectively the viability of local government and how it was being distributed just now. And so the Budget Commission had a regular meeting. This was their regular meeting, and it pretty much pulled in all of the public officials, at least a representative from almost every community in the county that had local government coming into their funds, or into their pockets. Chris Galloway, the auditor, pretty much headed off what could have potentially been a pretty rowdy meeting right from the very beginning, and said that until he's advised otherwise, he will be distributing local government according to the alternative formula that's been in place for a very long time. I think 1984, sometime in the 82. Since 82, he did not intend, did not intend to look back on money that could or could not have been distributed inappropriately if that formula was determined to be inappropriate or not being, they shouldn't be using it. In any event, he has deferred to the county prosecutor's office, who's issued their opinion. County prosecutor's office, after that meeting, is probably looking at it again because the attorney for Kirtland and Waite Hill brought in some documents that the prosecutor didn't have. So all of that's under review. The county auditor asked that an ad hoc committee be formed so that all of the governments that are involved with building this formula for local government can at least get a running start on it if they have to manage it going forward. I got an email today that the ad hoc committee is in fact formed. So they'll all have their conversations at this point. As we understood it, they can't do anything with local government change-wise for another 4 years, correct? Officially 4 years, unless the prosecutor's office has something to add to that. Go ahead.
I'd have to add a bunch of words to the question, but it depends on how much. I can maybe fill 2 or 3 minutes if people want to hear it.
No, please,
Yes,
please do,
please.
because I have some things to say too. So
Yeah.
I think it's important that council understands local government funding, but I think it's just absolutely imperative that the general public understands what's being talked about here and why we're talking about it. And I'll hold my further comments until after Jim.
So there's a resolution that the mayor asked to have before council tonight about restoring the local government fund, and probably most people in the audience don't know what the local government fund is, but it's money that the village, the cities, the counties, and the state of Ohio have been receiving from the state of Ohio since I believe it was the 1950s, and then it increased pretty dramatically when the state income tax went into effect, and it was a significant source of revenue, and is still a significant source of revenue to the village and the cities. In 1980, and there's a statutory formula which indicates how the money from this local government fund gets divided, and it provides that if there's no agreement amongst the county, the city of Mentor, and 12 of the 22 other cities and villages and townships in the county. Up to 30% of the money goes to the county, and the villages and everybody else divides things according to a statutory formula that has some need-based factor on there. Of the 88 counties in the state of Ohio, only one follows a general formula, and everybody else follows what's called an alternative formula, and that was passed in 1982, where the county was going to receive only 10.9%, rather, of the money that came in, which is, I think it's in like this past year in the $15 million range is what I think it, somewhere in that range. 12.9.
I think it's
Okay.
12.9, yeah.
That came into the county, that the county would receive approximately 11% of that, and the rest was divided, and the village, based on that alternative formula, is a beneficiary because we got some part of that 20%. As part of that process of passing that back in 1982, there was an agreement that was reached that set forth the formula, and it indicated that the formula could be looked at every 5 years if the county voted to do that. That's the county commissioners, the city of Mentor, and or the other communities. That happened back in 2012, and nothing happened at that particular point in time. That action by the county back in 2012 became the subject of this meeting because somebody noticed it at the county commissioners level saying, hey, how come we're still only getting 10%? And that was the subject of the meeting. They asked the Lake County Prosecutor's Office to weigh in on what that 5-year plan meant, and the prosecutor indicated that it should have been changed to the statutory formula back in 2013. That never happened. The prosecutor, the auditor, and the treasurer indicated that they're not going to look backward, they're only going to look forward, but they're going to have to vote, I think it's sometime next week, whether or not they're going to continue to follow the statutory formula. And but in other communities, such as the commissioners, could challenge it this year. There's actually 3 opinions out there right now. There's an opinion by the prosecutor's office, there's an opinion by the attorney for Wade Hill and Kirtland Hills, and while they're small, they get a significant part of their revenue from this local government fund, and also by the city of Mentor, and both the city of Mentor and Wade Hill and Kirtland Hills have indicated that the prosecutor's opinion is not correct. Now, if the prosecutor would agree with that, then this issue would be done, but so that issue's up in the air. The question that started this long answer was that they can only, that we're good for the next 4 years, and in my opinion, that's not correct. Okay, I think depending on what the prosecutor says, and it could lead to litigation, but what the prosecutor says is if he says that the statutory formula now has to be followed, then it would start not this year, but next year is what the prosecutor is saying. So, interestingly enough, and this is the end of it, the main part of the prosecutor's opinion is based on what the prosecutor has indicated is a typo in the agreement that was reached, so that instead of using 5719.52, instead in there it referred to 5719.53 of the revised code, which put it back into the alternative formula if there was a challenge. The prosecutor said that that was a typo. The city of Mentor in their memo said that that's not correct, because in order to believe that it was a typo, all 22 communities would have missed that, the commissioners would have missed that, and so would the city of Mentor. Okay, everybody would have missed that particular mistake, and he's saying that's very unlikely. So I thought that was a good legal argument by the city of Mentor. We'll see what happens. But it's significant because it would cut revenue to, the village, and I'm just not sure how much that'd be. Mayor and Chris had talked to.
Okay, thank you both for that. So let me give you my take on this. So when I read the emails, the point that I took great umbrage with, and it's nice that the three heads of the county are saying that they're not going to look back, but I don't believe for a moment that if the law doesn't allow them to look back, that they won't look back at that number. So if they do look back at that number, since 2012, the village has been receiving more money than what we should have been receiving. There is an outside chance that we'll be asked to pay that money back. The village couldn't pay that money back with our current balances. It just couldn't happen. I believe what the state of Ohio has done, and I don't think this is a county fight. I think it's good that they're putting together their commission, and I think it's good that they're going through this, and I truly want to be understanding of why the commissioners may have looked at this alternative formula. The commissioners are just like us. They're looking for ways to shore up their budgets. But really what it is the local government fund was changed back in 2008 when the Great Recession hit. And the local government fund today continues to fund what the state of Ohio calls the rainy day fund, which sits, I don't know the exact figure, but it's in the tens of billions of dollars. That is money that's sitting in a rainy day fund that's not being spent. Those are your local tax dollars. This is money that you pay in sales tax. Everything this village has done in the last 10, 15 years to improve our downtown district, to support small businesses, that money goes straight to the state of Ohio and does not come back to the village of Fairport Harbor. Back in 2008, we had to lay off employees because of that local government fund was reduced. This fight, this county fight, and I would urge every elected official, and I'll send a letter behind this legislation that hopefully council passes tonight, to shift this fight to Columbus. This belongs in Jamie Callender's hands, this belongs in Jerry Serino's hands, and this belongs in Governor DeWine's hand. They have to restore local government funding to where it was in 2008. Not have counties and the local municipalities fighting each other over table scraps. These are real dollars that are there. We're not asking for anything that we don't deserve. We're not asking for anything that we don't know how to spend here. And I would challenge any state leader, county leader, et cetera, to come here to Fairport Harbor at this meeting and tell me how I could better spend those dollars. They do not need to sit in a rainy day fund. It's criminal that it's happening. It's criminal that it's continued to happen. And I just feel with the strongest bones in my body, or whatever you want to call it, that this fight belongs in Columbus, and we should not be fighting each other on the local level. So that's why that resolution is before you guys tonight. I thank Jim for going. I thank Amy and Chris for going. I certainly support Mentor's interpretation and Wade Hill and Kurt and the city of Kirtland Hills view of the law. And I know Colson to be a good prosecutor, so I'm not quite sure how he got to the opinion that he got to, but he's of sound legal mind too, I guess is what I'm saying. So he did not come at that opinion just on a whim. I believe he thinks he can probably defend it. And again, it frightens me very, very much with the look back. And if they continue to erode at the local government fund, know this, folks, we will come to you, the voters, for additional taxes, because we have to still fund our government. Again, I have some figures in the resolution, and I'm going to read the entire resolution when we get there. And if you want a copy of it, I'll send it to you. But contact your state leaders as far as this local government goes. The Ohio Municipal League has taken this up as one of their items to fight for this year as well, and I think they're trying to get it into the next budget cycle. So that's my take on it. Any other questions for Chris this evening? Okay. If not, we don't have any old business? Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Safety Committee, Mr. Saracen?
Both chiefs I talked to, they don't have anything to report on this evening. Their reports are in the packet, and they did an outstanding job as usual. Chief Lloyd has asked me to make a motion that we would put our 2003 squad on gov deals, and it's just sitting there. So I need a motion to let him go ahead and put it on to sell it. And that money will be enough to cover the cost of our radios if we can get it out of here.
So that motion is then to declare that unit as surplus?
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Bertone?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Vacknick?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's
Thank you,
that's
sir.
it.
Thank you. Have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Vacknick?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2023-50, a resolution appointing Raymond Patterson as a firefighter for the Village of Fairport Harbor, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend. Second.
Suspend. Saracen?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Vacknick?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Adopt. Saracen?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Vacknick?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 2023-051, an ordinance by the Council of the Village of Fairport Harbor, Lake County, Ohio, to levy assessments for the improvement of various streets in the village by supplying said streets with electric street lighting and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt. Second. Move to suspend. Second.
Suspend. Vacknick?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Adopt. Vacknick?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'd like to note that that's an annual event that we do that.
Yes, that is. Resolution number 2023-54, resolution strongly urging the Ohio Governor and members of the Ohio General Assembly to restore the local government fund to pre-recession levels and declaring an emergency. Whereas the local government fund was reduced in 2011 by 50% during Governor Kasich's administration from 3.68 of the general revenue funds to its current level of 1.66% of the general revenues fund. And whereas past Ohio General Assemblies have repeatedly decreased funding and revenue sharing in recent years, in addition to significantly reducing the local government fund, including eliminating the estate tax and phasing out the tangible personal property tax. And whereas in 2008, the village received $357,913, and in 2012, the village received $235,833, which over 11 years equates to a cumulative loss of $1.342880 million for the Village of Fairport Harbor. And whereas this sudden revenue loss has made it increasingly difficult to provide basic services, rebuild infrastructure, and bolster public safety services. And whereas when municipalities experience success in fostering safe communities, building sound infrastructure, and increasing economic development, the state of Ohio reaps the benefits as well. Whereas a reinvestment in the local government fund would aid the state in its goal of lowering taxes on the individual by enabling municipalities to decrease the local tax burden. Now therefore be it resolved by the Fairport Harbor Village Council, State of Ohio, that Section 1, the Ohio General Assembly should restore the local government fund to pre-recession levels, ensuring that local communities are able to provide crucial services and improvements in infrastructure and public safety. Section 2, this council does hereby declare this opposition to any further cuts to the local government fund or future diversion of revenues from the local government fund. Section 3, that this resolution shall take effect at the earliest time permitted by law.
Move to adopt, Mayor.
And second? You would
Second.
Thank you.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Suspend Bertone.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Backnick.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Saracen.
Aye.
Adopt. Bertone.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Backnick.
Aye.
Shaver. Aye. Saracen.
Aye.
Thank you.
Does council have anything else this evening?
I do. I have one. I was asked by some students and also a few parents, with the school construction, the basketball hoops are gone. Can we look into maybe next spring doing something down at the skate park?
Not next spring, no. They're going to be using that as parking and staging.
The skate park?
Yeah, during the construction project. Maybe after the fact, Jerry, we could take a look at it, but I would say in the immediacy, the skate park, they'll be staging equipment and stuff like that from there if they need it, okay? Jim, do I announce the executive session at this point or go to the public and then do executive session?
Go to the public.
Okay, so we're open to the public. If you could, just state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
My name is Amanda Holly. We live at 502 6th Street, corner of 6th and Vine.
Sean Powers.
You guys know Sean, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Probably Veda, I'm sure you've heard of her too, because of Sean. But we just wanted to come to the council with just a general concern. We moved in last summer and started noticing on the corner that there's a lot of issues with speeding and running the stop sign at our corner. And over the last year, talking to neighbors, just people in the community, we've started to realize it's a big concern for a lot of the residents in the city. And we're just wondering if there's any type of something that can be done to kind of decrease it, especially with school starting. I definitely love that you guys are going to repaint the crosswalks there. I think that's huge. There's been so much construction on that corner. But it's just something where I work from home. So I'm right by the window and I'm constantly all day just seeing people either not stopping at all or California rolling the whole thing. And it's just a big concern. We have a lot of children near our corner. And especially with school starting, only being a block away from the school, I think it's a huge concern. I'm just wondering if there's just anything that can be done to help that, whether it's just a bigger presence with a police car standing by or actually pulling people over for it. Because I've never seen anybody pulled over for running a stop sign at all the whole year we've been here.
So I know on your corner what we've done in the past, and Chief, maybe we should get the Sheriff's Department to throw the speed sign up again. That tends to slow things down for a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever solve it.
Yeah, I know. I think speed's a huge thing for that stretch
Right.
because it's coming straight off Fairport Nursery, going from 55 down to 25.
Well, that tree right there as well.
Yeah, I was gonna
basically
ask that-
blocks on-
I was gonna ask that
stop sign
question.
Until you're about 15 to 20 feet in front of it, so.
Yeah.
So
I
we
don't
still
know if
need
they
some
can trim the
trimming there.
tree Or even the blinking lights on the
That-
stop sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a bad
Reflectors.
intersection.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I know we had
terrible.
trimmed before, but I haven't gone, what would that be, facing west? I haven't driven
Yeah.
west down 6th Street in quite some time, so.
Yeah, it
We could
seems
take
like
a
it's
look at that.
trimmed, but even like I will come that way, and maybe on the golf cart going slow, you don't see it till
Mm-hmm.
like the driveway before. And I think if people do see it, they're slamming on their brakes at the last second.
Right.
And if anything else, they're just flying right through it.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, we have the sidewalks, and I'm obviously keep track of her, but there's other kids who are constantly up and down the street who, if a car doesn't stop, it's gonna be bad.
Right.
The school is right there.
Did
Yeah.
did we add, is there a red stripe on that pole?
Not a reflective one.
There's not one
The
there
opposite
either?
side has it where the lights reflect off of it, but our side does not.
Chief,
So
maybe
that
we
would be
should get
nice.
4 there.
Yeah,
And just do that intersection.
I agree, and also the trailer, the speed trailer, I know we inquired about it earlier this summer, there were some traffic complaints, and the answer that I got back was that there were so many other communities, I believe, that were on a wait list for it, so.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully we can get that at least sometime, maybe this fall. I also want to, Amanda, just to let you know that our traffic enforcement, I mean, it is actually pretty high.
Okay.
Just this past month, we had 62 traffic stops, and out of that is a number of traffic citations. So our traffic enforcement is up.
Okay.
Up
For running stop signs or speeding or?
Speed, running
number
stop
of things?
signs, you name it.
Okay.
But we will try to concentrate in that area a little bit more. I
Yeah.
understand that that's always been a problem.
Yeah, I think
especially
if
with
it's
Fairport Nursery
something
Road.
that becomes well-known, that you're gonna get pulled over if you run a stop sign, I
Yeah.
think people need to know
Yeah.
that you can't, it's not gonna
Mainly
happen.
coming in and only at night going out because everybody's excited to,
Hit Fairport Nursery and take off.
motorcycle place is right there, so everybody's gone in and out or,
But,
Yeah,
I mean, as she gets bigger, it's just a concern, especially walking to school.
No, I appreciate
Now that we
that.
have to go
Sure.
down that way. But thank you.
No, thank you for for voicing your concern, I appreciate it.
thank you.
Mayor, what about road rash? Maybe we can have Clyde take a look at that, grooves in the road there, that, it's it rattles your vehicle a little bit.
It's not a bad idea.
That's-
Rough up the road a little bit.
I would, and I would start there. That intersection is by far the worst. I've actually yelled at people who've ran past the stop sign and they're like, "We know!" And I'm like, why aren't you stopping? I don't get it. It's so strange, but that's a really bad intersection.
And road rash being something like Dead Man's Curve is one approach, but there's other approaches where it's not going to impact snow plowing and things like that.
Okay. And we can look into some options.
Okay.
And I'm not opposed to getting a couple of blinking signs either. I mean, I don't know that we could do every intersection in town, but some problem ones, for sure, and then we can step into what that might look like. Hell, if we got the local government fund restored, we might be able to fund buying some blinking signs. And I'm not saying that in jest, I'm just saying that in general, that would be a legitimate spend of that money, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
And Mayor, I want to stress that particular area right there, coming off of Fairport Nursery Road on East Street, that would be a very, very good place to start for that.
Okay. All right, very good. If not, yes, ma'am.
Laura Urban, 310 Prospect Street.
Hi, Laura.
Thank you for your lead into it. Mentioned trimming trees. My husband and I love to walk this town. It's a beautiful town to walk. However, I can't tell you how many times I'm getting my eyes poked out. I know there's an ordinance that people are supposed to keep their bushes and trees trimmed. I don't know what we can do, but it's getting really dangerous. I'm happy to walk around with my loppers, but people are going to get mad. So,
Any place in particular?
all over.
Okay,
I know Second Street is bad, but we walk all over town.
gotcha.
So,
Okay.
just wanted to bring that to your attention. Thank you.
Is it trees that are low? Is it bushes on?
Trees that are low.
Yeah.
And bushes that are sideways. Both.
Okay.
I know High Street, it's
Mhm.
bad in a lot of areas.
Sure.
Over there on your way, heading out of town by High Water before that, going down that hill on the
Yeah.
east side, that's bad. Second Street, those trees are really bad. It's a lot of roads. I mean, if you want, I could write down a bunch of addresses and turn them into you, but, I hate to complain, but
No, I
it's really
appreciate
a
that.
nuisance, especially, because little kids also ride bikes on those sidewalks. And, surprised people haven't really gotten hurt.
Okay. Thank you, Laura.
There is a large tree on the corner of East and Second, on the empty lot that lost a huge limb in the storm on Saturday. I don't know. Okay.
Yes, yeah, we are aware of it and we are dealing with that right now. Yep.
Okay, if we don't have anything else, we're going to be heading into executive session to discuss mutual aid. When we come out of executive session, we will not be taking any formal action. So I need a motion to adjourn into executive session.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
I lost my cheat list, sorry. Bertone?
Aye.
Becknick? Aye. Shaver?
Aye.
Saracen? Aye. Heights?
Aye.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you.